David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Now that Dak's had a chance to visit with the medical staff, what can you tell us about what he will and won't be clear to do this week?
Dak Prescott, well, he'll be in the rehab group today. Until he had a good visit with the doctor yesterday. So the next step is to get enough strength in the hand to throw the football. So he will work exclusively with Britt Brown today.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the September football unscattered looks. Was it more challenging to navigate the first month of the season because of the uncertainties regarding your own team through this first month of September? And how do you think you guys have done?
I mean, it should sound like you're in a team meeting today. I think September football, the first quarter, first 4 games of the year, we did an in-depth South Scott with the football team, and it's just like anything. I mean, you're doing these studies, and it's part of your evaluation every week. But now you have 4 weeks to push it all together. So just heightening the awareness and urgency, particularly in like anything, it comes down to the fundamentals. Talked about the unscouted looks. I think clearly, when you look at the start of our season offensively, it's not that we were holding back from what we're doing because of Cooper Rush. I think it was just more the other changes that were going on around. So now that now Michael Gallup's come back, I think we're starting to get some continuity at the left side of the line. So those are the things we're focused on. But we have navigated the first quarter fairly well, with a 3-1 record. But the exciting part for us is the amount of improvement that's in front of us, and that's really where we've got to keep our eye on the target for us. South Scott. Now we have put 4 weeks of video out there, so that's really who you really are, and that's what the Rams are preparing for, and that's what we got to focus on. Because at the end of the day, today and tomorrow we'll really focus on the Rams and what they do and how we think they're going to come at us. But we got a lot of house cleaning to do. We got to clean our own house, and we got to get things improved on, and that's where our guys are at.
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. On Dak for a second. What does his rehab look like? What does he do for that thumb when he's with Britt? And
specifically?
Like when he's out on the field, is it?
Well, you guys are good. You guys are really good.
And is it safe to say he will not be available this week?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna. He's in rehab mode. The exact specific exercises that he's doing for his thumb. I can't tell you if he's working with clay or Nerf balls or whatever. I apologize. I did not check in with the training staff. So he's doing everything he can. I mean, we all know that. He was here yesterday. Obviously here again early this morning. So until he gets in, his first step for football, from my view, will be when he is inserted into the quarterback school. And so he's working with the rehab group today. He will not be part of the quarterback school.
Michael Gelkin, Dallas Morning News. What's the outlook for Jordan Lewis following the pregame groin injury?
Jordan Lewis and actually Donovan Wilson will work with Britt in the pre-practice. Just Dono just watching his rep numbers and so forth. These are things coming off of his injury last year, so we're just being smart with him. But Jordan, we'll see how he gets through this. So based off of how the preliminary work goes during the special teams and the O&D fundamentals, will determine how much team they will take. So I guess you could put them in a limited category as far as the outlook.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What's your plans at deep snapper? Looks like we lost Jake.
Yeah, we brought in 2. Yeah, unfortunately, we lost Jake. I mean, just what an ace for us, in the locker room, and just a wonderful, wonderful man. But you think about, he's gone 12 years and hasn't missed a game. So, but yeah, we have 2 snappers that we signed. We have the veteran, and we have the young guys. So we're gonna let those guys compete, and we're gonna get a look at them today and work some before and after practice, and we'll see how the week shakes out.
Clark and Washington, how close are they to getting in practice?
Clark will actually be activated today, so you'll get to see Damone out there today. So everybody's excited about that.
What about Washington?
No, he's not yet.
Coach Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. How close last week was Kurtz to returning, and how does he look for this week?
He's slated to go full practice today, so hopefully we'll just work through the week preparation and be ready to go. But as far as last week, I would say he was close, but once again, it's the beauty of this week for guys coming off it, they'll have a full week to get through it. So I think, with the limited work last week coming off the Monday night game, I don't know if there was enough work for really a guy could get comfortable coming off of the injuries that, particularly those guys were dealing with.
Dave Loffenberg, Cowboys Radio. How gratifying was it to go through the game Sunday, 4 penalties, obviously an area of emphasis, and not only that, there was over 100 yards difference in penalty yardage between you and one.
Definitely. I mean, it obviously factored, particularly in field position. I think it was probably one of the biggest advantage for us was the penalties for field position. Now we need to, get to winning it outright, with our takeaways and return game and moving the football. So, yeah, I mean, really, I look at penalties more from the self scout of it. I mean, I addressed it today. Our pre-snap penalties are too high. We went back through all 4 weeks in a team meeting and addressed specifics of it, and more importantly, how can we improve on it? Because I mean, it's like one thing. I mean, you put a bunch of statistics up there and jump around a little bit. That's not really the answer. So how do you work on it? How do you improve on it? And and to me, it starts in the walkthroughs, and it's that pace of operation, mind speed, all the things that we're working for. We do a hell of a job around here as far as how we practice in the physical output that we're putting in each week and how it's measured and the education behind it, science behind it, and that's clearly reflected in just the numbers, as far as fatigue injuries and things that we deal with on a really on a yearly basis. So there's a lot of history that goes into that, but we got to find ways to work on those things because it's not good enough right now. I'm talking about the pre-snap penalties. So we need to be better there. I got to be better there because right now I don't like where the numbers are.
Mike, with Aaron Donald, when you're looking at the Rams games, how quickly does your eyes just find where he is on the field?
Well, you get off the bus, you better look around. I mean, because that's the kind of player he is. So I mean, he's from Pittsburgh. What can you expect? But no, he's dynamic. I mean, he's a game wrecker. We recognize that, and but most important, I think it's you get into how you're going to line up against an impact player like that. You can't make a bunch of changes, wholesale changes, because now your players are slowing down and thinking and not stepping as fast. So I think the biggest thing for us is we recognize the type of player he is, where he's going to line up and how we want to execute against him. But man, we just got to really we want to be better up front. I mean, I know our guys are excited about the challenge, but really our focus is on self-improvement. I mean, we're into the game plan process with the players today, but I just know the vibe in there is, hey, we won 3 games, but we just know we can be a lot better. So that's where our focus is.
Matt Downey, NBC5. Last week you guys had the short week Monday night game to play on Sunday. This week they have that. Can you just kind of speak to, we've gotten used to seeing teams play on Monday night, but it does seem like it makes it a lot more challenging when you lose that one day, because every day seems so valuable.
I mean, it definitely does. And then, throw in the travel part of it. I mean, to their benefit, they probably didn't have to travel very far from, San Francisco to L.A. But, I mean, just from our personal experience coming back from New York, I mean, that's a grinder. I mean, you get back at 4:30 in the morning, and, it affects Monday and Tuesday and really carries over into Wednesday. And, frankly, just because of the kind of game, we came out of a division game no different than them. I mean, it definitely probably even factors what you do on Thursday too. So it's part of it. It's part of the challenge. I mean, we all get the schedules back in May, so you have time to plan and recognize those stress points of scheduling. I've already noted the traveling is part of that, calculation of stress to your football team. But, at the end of the day, does it give us an advantage? Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's the way we're looking at it. I mean, we're preparing, and we just need to max out our preparation part of it. And, but the other, flip side of it, sometimes when you do lose a game, it is better to get up and play quickly. I've always felt that way. I mean, I know when things didn't go well, I thought it was a benefit for your football team to get back out there and get going. So, we're looking at this as a national game. Obviously, it's the Cowboys and the Rams, and I think there's going to be a whole lot of urgency come Sunday afternoon.
And I wanted to ask you about Cooper Kupp as well. I mean, not schematically how you're going to try and stop him, but at the same time, just how dynamic he is. And how
I'll just say this, and it's you see it time and time again, but you don't just go back to the Super Bowl. I mean, the last 10 plays of that game. I mean, he's he's targeted it 8 times. I think the other 2 were throwaways. So I mean, he caught 7 of them. So that's the connection that him and Matthew have, and we're well aware of it. I mean, he's a fine football player.
For Damone, we've seen how missing a couple weeks in the spring can set back a young player. He's missed everything. What's a realistic expectation for what, if anything, he'll be able to do for the team this season?
I'll say this: we're all excited about him. I mean, how can you not? You just see, obviously the player. He was in college, coming out, and he just more importantly, just how he's been since he's been here. I mean, this young man's here every day. I mean, I'm talking weekend. He's here all the time. So he's ready. I mean, he's and I think our medical staff and Damone himself, the patience has been tough because just how the whole injury unfolded and so forth. So my point is, I think the rehab process is completed, and I'm personally happy we waited as long as we did, because now this young man can jump in there full speed. But yeah, he hasn't put on pads in a year and a half. So I mean, let's not be, let's be realistic about that. So it'll be good to get him out here work. I'd like to see where he is, at the end of the week. But I mean, it's in a lot of ways he's like a guy that just showed up at training camp and missed ramp up and missed the whole off-season program. So we got to, he just needs to work, and it'll be great to have him out there.
You've gone against Matthew Stafford quite a bit in your career. Just your thoughts on him and what it says about him to come from the situation he did into a team where it was like you're the missing piece, and then delivering that first year. Just how difficult that is.
I think the first thing you got to recognize, he delivered. And that's a credit to Matthew Stafford. Always had, tremendous amount of respect for him. Obviously, while he was in Detroit, and we played a lot of games against each other. And I go back to his, his rookie year. I think he played through a shoulder injury that was pretty significant. So you knew right away that forget about the arm talent and all that. I mean, this guy's he's a warrior. So he can make all the throws. He has, and frankly, you could see it in our training camp practice, last year, and you could see the connection that he has with Cooper Kupp and his teammates. So he will be a big challenge for us.
How do you think Mike has handled the on-field attention that he gets from the other team?
How has he handled it? I mean, it's constant. I think that is number one, and I think it just is reflected the type of impact player that he is. But no, I think he's dealing with it in a good way. So I mean, he's a team player. It's been awesome just to watch him mature and come on in some of the other areas outside of just playing. So I mean, he's going to be dealing with it the rest of his career. I mean, it's not going away anytime soon. So and I just think Dan and the staff and we're very cognizant of it, and we got to keep trying to create targeting issues not only for the offense but make sure we're giving him opportunities to make plays.
Is it any different than what he saw last year as he grew into what he became?
I would say yes. So I just heard the fact that they have more video on him. So now, he has tendencies from when he plays the open end in normal D&D. So are they trying to run the ball at him? So those types of things. So I mean, those are the things we're very aware of, and just making sure we continue to give him opportunities where he can make plays.
You guys have had more 3rd and 7 pluses than anybody.
Thanks. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah.
I don't think I'm enlightening you here, but obviously, number one, you want to not be in those, but number two, they're almost 8 a game. Do you are you spending more time in practice on those, knowing that we've got a lot of 3rd and 7 pluses?
We actually started more third down work week 2. Coming out of week 1, because that was obviously a detriment to the opener. But the reality of it is, it's 1st and 2nd down needs to be better. If you look at just last week's game against Washington, I mean, it's 6 negative runs. I mean, I don't care who you're playing or at what level. That's not where you want to be on 2nd down. So, and that's where we're focused on, and that's part of the South Scott. And it's like anything. You don't want to sit here and beat your guys up over the things that didn't go right, because we got a whole lot that is going right, and we got a lot of good things that came out of the 4-week South Scout. But that's definitely 3rd down. We need to be better on both sides, frankly.
CD has seen about 1/3 of the team's targets. He's 3rd highest in the NFL in terms of target share for his respective team. You guys are getting him those opportunities. How important is that for that to continue? Do you feel for the success of this offense, or is How mindful is that?
Well, it's definitely part of the game plan. I mean, I think just like anything, when you see a game plan go together, and and then most importantly, the play caller and Kellen, I think it just tells you when you accomplish what you set out to accomplish as far as ball distribution, that's where you want to be. Now, the other part behind that is he's getting the targets, but what's going on around him. We talk about we drive 55 plus, 55 mile an hour, Sammy Hagar, if you're wondering, but it's but we're only at 45 right now after 4 games. So I mean, my point is we're not getting the ball distributed. 55 ball distribution a game is the goal. First we got to get our play count up. That will come with production on first and second down, obviously the third down conversions. But we want to be better there. We want to be better, not only just getting CD as targets because he will perform and be productive, but we need to get the ball distributed. Between Zeke, Tony, and the other perimeter players.
The running backs haven't been especially involved along those lines in terms of backfield catches.
You mean passing game was?
Yeah, the passing game. Yeah, your running backs don't have a whole lot of receptions thus far. What are your thoughts about that being a bit lower this year?
Well, we're lower all the way around. I mean, our run attempts are lower. If you look at the way we're playing, you go, wow. Run attempts are lower than last year, but so are the pass attempts. So it's just we're not getting enough attempts at the plate right now. So that's that's the primary focus, which points you to first and second down production. So running backs, I've never really concerned myself with the number of touches, in the passing game versus the run game. Most important thing is for them to touch the ball, and the other part of that is to make sure that the run blocking unit's coming off the ball, because that's where to me, that's where you need balance. People, you want to talk about the production in our run game last week was not very good. Yeah, but the most important thing is we ran it 26 times. Those are body blows. Those are things that are needed in the course of a game. So we just need to be better.
All right.
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks.
Cool hat.